First contact, humanity's greatest leap. The moment Earth activated the quantum displacement drive, QDD, humanity changed forever. For centuries, interstellar travel had been confined to sublight speeds and slow warp corridors. Generations lived and died before a single human ship could reach the nearest stars. That all changed when a team of scientists at Luna's Copernicus station achieved the impossible, a technology that could fold space instantaneously. At 6:42 Universal Time Coordinated, the prototype vessel Dauntless became the first human-made object to vanish from Earth's orbit and reappear near Proxima Centauri in under a second. The world watched in awe as the crew transmitted their success. News stations hailed it as the greatest scientific leap since the discovery of fire. What humanity didn't realize was that they were not alone in celebrating. Across the galaxy, hundreds of advanced species received the signal, a burst of energy that should have been impossible for such a young race to generate. The Zenith Concord, the ruling interstellar alliance, took notice immediately. For millennia, the Concord had maintained balance across known space, guiding primitive civilizations under the guise of protection. They had long observed Earth, deeming it too primitive to warrant direct intervention. Humans were passionate, innovative, but limited. At least, that was the assumption. When Dauntless jumped beyond the limits of any monitored species, alarms rang across the Concord's core worlds. How had this species, barely a century into space travel, leapfrogged past thousands of older civilizations? A diplomatic fleet was dispatched to Seoul immediately. The arrival. 2 weeks after the first jump, the sky above Earth split open. From the cold void, ships of impossible size emerged, sleek, silver behemoths that radiated energy beyond anything humanity had ever conceived. These were not warships, but their mere presence was overwhelming. The world held its breath as the lead vessel, Virayatha's Judgment, hailed Earth. A being of striking elegance and authority materialized on every screen across the planet. It had elongated features, bioluminescent skin, and golden eyes that regarded humanity like a parent addressing a reckless child. Humans of Seoul, you have taken a step beyond your station. We are the Zenith Concord, stewards of the civilized galaxy. We are here to guide you. The United Nations, caught between awe and unease, scrambled to respond. First contact had always been a possibility, but not like this. Not with the clear implication that humanity's breakthrough was a problem. The warning. In a historic meeting aboard the ISS Ascension, human leaders spoke with the Concord's emissaries. The message was clear: humanity was advancing too fast. The Concord, claiming to maintain galactic stability, proposed that Earth's QDD research be suspended, or worse, placed under alien control. But humanity had tasted the stars, and they had no intention of giving them up. This was not just first contact. It was the first step toward war. The unshackling, breaking the chains of control. The Zenith Concord's ultimatum sent shockwaves across Earth. Suspend quantum displacement research? Submit to alien oversight? The mere suggestion ignited a firestorm of debate. Some saw compliance as the only way to avoid war. If the Concorde had ruled the stars for millennia, resisting them could mean Earth's destruction. Others, however, saw their demands for what they were: an attempt to chain humanity before it could stand on its own. Among those unwilling to be shackled was Captain Elias Voss, commander of the Dauntless. A veteran astronaut and engineer, Voss had spent decades pushing the limits of human spaceflight. He hadn't risked everything for the stars just to be told he couldn't touch them. So, when the UN hesitated to reject the Concorde's offer, he and his crew made the choice for them, defying the Concorde. On a cold night at Luna's Copernicus station, the Dauntless, Earth's only ship equipped with the quantum displacement drive, vanished in a flash of folded space. Its destination? Epsilon Eridani, an uncharted system just beyond the Concorde surveillance network. The mission was clear: prove humanity's right to explore. As the ship reappeared in the void of Epsilon Eridani, the crew marveled at their newfound freedom. Before them was a system untouched by the Concorde's reach, a place that belonged to no empire. But as they scanned the system, excitement turned to unease. They were not the first to arrive. Echoes of a lost civilization. Orbiting the second planet, the Dauntless discovered the ruins of an ancient city. Vast metallic structures, shattered towers, and abandoned starports, all long dead. It was clear a civilization had thrived here once. But where were they now? Voss and his team explored further, sending drones into the ruined structures. What they found changed everything. Records buried in the databanks of a long-dead species revealed that they too had discovered faster-than-light travel. And when they had, the Zenith Concorde had come, not as guides, but as executioners. They hadn't been invited into the galactic community. They had been erased before they could become a threat. The truth was undeniable. The Concorde wasn't just enforcing stability. They were ensuring that no species could ever surpass them. The Concorde strikes back. Before the crew could process their discovery, alarms blared aboard the Dauntless. Multiple warships were inbound. The Concorde had been tracking them. Human vessel Dauntless, came the cold voice of a Zenith commander. You have violated our mandate. Power down your engines and surrender. Voss looked at his crew. He saw the fire in their eyes, the same fire that burned in his own heart. Humanity had come too far to kneel. Like hell we will, he growled. With a single command, the Dauntless jumped back to Earth, carrying a truth that could ignite a revolution. Humanity was no longer just defying the Concorde. They were declaring war. The war for sovereignty. When the Dauntless returned to Earth, it brought more than just its crew. It carried the truth. The Zenith Concorde had not come to guide humanity. They had come to control it. And they had done the same to countless species before. The ruins on Epsilon Eridani were a warning, a reminder of what happened to those who dared to reach beyond their imposed limits. Humanity had a choice: bow to the Concorde's demands or fight for their right to exist as an independent power. The answer was obvious. The first strike, the Concorde responded with overwhelming force. A fleet of warships appeared in high orbit, surrounding Earth and its fledgling colonies. Their demands were simple: cease all quantum displacement research. Surrender the Dauntless. Accept Concorde governance. The United Nations Space Command, UNSC, met in emergency session. Some argued for diplomacy, but Captain Elias Voss and his allies knew the truth. Negotiation was submission. So humanity did what it had always done when backed into a corner. They adapted. They fought. The Battle of Epsilon Eridani. The first true engagement of the war happened not over Earth, but at the place where it all began, Epsilon Eridani. The Concorde, expecting humanity to remain defensive, was unprepared when an Earthstrike force led by the retrofitted Dauntless launched a surprise attack on their staging grounds. Using newly developed quantum displacement combat maneuvers, QDCM, human ships blinked unpredictably across the battlefield, striking and vanishing before the enemy could react. The Concorde, bound by millennia of rigid, hierarchical warfare, found themselves unable to counter humanity's unorthodox, decentralized battle tactics. For the first time in recorded history, the Zenith Concorde lost a battle, and the galaxy took notice. A galaxy awakens. News of humanity's victory spread beyond the battlefield. Across the Concorde's vast dominion, species that had long suffered under their rule began to rise. Rebellions erupted in distant star systems, fueled by the simple truth: if humanity could defy the Concorde, so could they. Fearing total collapse, the Concorde escalated the war. They unleashed weapons meant to end civilizations, targeting Earth's fledgling colonies and strategic assets. Planets burned. Millions died. But humanity refused to break. With every battle, they adapted, integrating captured Concorde technology, creating AI-coordinated fleets, and pushing the limits of their own innovation. What should have been a swift suppression turned into a grinding war of attrition. And in the process, humanity did what no species had done before. They made the Zenith Concorde afraid. The final gambit. As the war raged on, intelligence reports revealed that the Concorde was preparing a last, desperate measure, a planet-killer weapon designed to wipe out Earth itself. Captain Elias Voss and his fleet had one chance. They wouldn't just defend Earth. They would end the war. The time for defiance was over. Now it was time to win. The dawn of a new era. The Zenith Concord had run out of patience. Humanity's defiance had emboldened rebellions across the galaxy. Once fractured species were uniting under a single idea, that the Concord was not an unstoppable force, but an oppressor that could be fought. Now, in desperation, the Concord made its final move. A planet-killer weapon, a supermassive warship known as the Judgment of Ariath, had been deployed to Sol. Its purpose was simple: erase Earth from existence. The final battle. The UNSC intercepted the transmission. They had only hours before the Judgment reached Earth's orbit. Every remaining warship, every last fighter, and every soldier who could still stand was mobilized. The entirety of human space power converged near the orbit of Mars, preparing for the last stand. At the center of the fleet was the Dauntless, now heavily modified with stolen Concord technology, an unrecognizable beast of war designed for one purpose: to end this fight. Captain Elias Voss stood on the bridge, staring at the approaching monstrosity on the view screen. He had been here from the start, and he would see this through to the end. "This is where we take our future," he said. The fleet charged. The unthinkable happens. The Judgment of Ariath was unlike any Concord warship before. It didn't fight, it consumed. A gravity weapon at its core began distorting space, pulling ships into its crushing singularity. Entire squadrons were obliterated in seconds. But humans were unpredictable. Using the quantum displacement drive, human warships executed impossible maneuvers, blinking in and out of existence at the edges of the gravitational field. Fighters equipped with AI-assisted QDCM strikes dodged fire at angles no Concord ship could counter. Yet it wasn't enough. The Judgment pushed forward, its weapon charging for a final attack on Earth. And that was when Voss made the boldest decision in human history. The final leap. With the fleet battered and outgunned, the Dauntless executed a 1 in a billion maneuver. They jumped inside the Judgment. The ship reappeared inside the Concord warship's core, bypassing its shields entirely. The bridge was silent as they took in the impossible sight, a swirling vortex of raw gravitational energy, the heart of the weapon. "Fire everything," Voss ordered. With a final, desperate barrage, the Dauntless unleashed its payload into the unstable core. The moment the first missile struck, the ship's AI issued a final warning. "Warning, quantum singularity collapse imminent." Voss and his crew had seconds. With a final command, they activated one last jump. Not to escape, but to take the Concord's greatest weapon with them. In a flash of blinding light, the Dauntless and the Judgment of Ariath vanished into nothingness. Victory in a new era. Earth was saved. The Concord's mightiest weapon was gone, and with it, the last of their will to fight. Without their superweapon, without their aura of invincibility, the Zenith Concord crumbled. Rebellion swept through their core worlds, and soon, the greatest empire in the galaxy was no more. But humanity did not take their place. Instead, they extended a hand to the broken civilizations that had fought beside them, forging a new alliance, not one of dominance, but of cooperation. For the first time in history, the galaxy was free, and it had all started with one monumental leap.